the phi value is 45 degree. So we'll go from here to 45 degree. That will come around your east. So the 2D amount will be towards east and the like strike direction will be towards north. Okay, this will be the answer. Okay, so let's move to the next one. A bed with altitude 0.45 degrees and 20 degrees southeast is rotated 60 degree clockwise, looking down about a vertical axis. So the strike value in azimuthal convection following the right hand rule of the rotated bed is dash degree. Okay. So what will happen? What will happen if a bed is rotating about a vertical axis, and what will happen if a bed will rotate about a horizontal axis? First, if we rotate about a vertical axis, what the things will change? Rotate about a vertical axis. Anyone? Like your dip amount will change, or your strike direction will change, or your like
Strike
plunge amount.
direction.
Yeah. So if you are rotating about the vertical axis now, so the strike direction and the plunge direction they will be changed. Okay. So here the strike direction and the plunge direction will be changed here. And what will happen if we rotate about the horizontal axis? Like
Dip direction change.
yeah, then the
Dip
dip
amount.
yeah the amount will change basically if we are rotating about the horizontal axis. Okay, and if we rotate about the vertical axis, then the direction will be changed. Okay, so if we rotate about the horizontal axis about the horizontal axis, then your dip amount and your plunge amount will be changed. Dip amount and your plunge amount will be changed. So यहाँ पे क्या बोला है कि इज रोटेटिंग इन वर्टिकल एक्सिस. ओके, वर्टिकल एक्सिस लोगे रोटेट हो रहे हैं, तो यहाँ पे क्या चेंज होगा मेरा? आइदर स्ट्राइक डायरेक्शन चेंज होगा या फिर प्लॉन्ज डायरेक्शन चेंज होगा. तो यहाँ पे मुझे दिया क्या है? स्ट्राइक डायरेक्शन दिया है. तो स्ट्राइक डायरेक्शन बेसिकली 0.45 डिग्री. तो बोला है कि मेरा स्ट्राइक कितना होगा जब मैं इसको रोटेट करूंगा. ठीक है, अगर 60 क्लॉकवाइज रोटेट करूंगा तो इसका वैल्यू कितना आएगा बोला. तो मेरा वैल्यू इतना था 0.45 डिग्री. दैट मीन्स it will come in the quadrant of northeastern, that is a 0.45 degree. And if we are rotating the strike in clockwise, then that will come to this side. So new will become, answer will be here 105. It asks in integer, no? And in like in azimuthal reading it is asking, so the answer will be 105 degree. So if it is asking is like the another method, quadrant method, then the answer will be here. So 180 degree minus 105 degree, so that will be north 75 degree towards east. Okay, so here the answer will be 0.45 plus 60 degree 105 degree. Okay, 105, or you can say north 75 degree east, but here it is asking in azimuthal, so the answer will be here 105 degree. Yeah. Okay, like here the bed is basically rotating about a vertical axis. Okay, so what will happen if it is rotating about the horizontal axis? So the next question, what will happen if a bed with an altitude 0.45 degree and 20 degree south is rotated 90 degree clockwise about a horizontal axis? So what the thing will change here? The direction will change or the deep amount will be changed here? Someone please let me know what will change here.
Dip amount.
Here the deep amount will change, right? So here the deep amount is given as 20 degree. So if we rotate 90 degree clockwise, then that will become, the new will become delta dash will become 90 plus 20 degree. So it should be 110 degree, no? Like deep amount is greater than 1, like if the deep, can be a deep amount is greater than 90 degree, can be a possible, it can be possible, right? Deep amount value should not be exceed 90 degree. So then what should be the deep amount value in this case? Like 110 degree is basically greater than 90 degree, right? So it should not be like 120 degree here, 110 degree here. So what will be the like deep amount here?
20 degree.
No, no, not 20 degree. Like 20 degree is the like previous one. Like, but we rotated 90 degree now. But like here it is exceeding the 90 degree. So remember, like whenever you are getting a value greater than 90 degrees, so minus that from 180 degree. Okay.
Sorry, sorry, 70 degree.
Okay. Okay. So the new one will become 180 degree minus 110 degree. Okay. So that will become a 70 degree. So the new deep amount will become a 70 degree. So remember that if you are rotating about a vertical axis, then the strike direction and the plunge direction is changing. Like when you are rotating about a horizontal axis, the deep amount and the plunge amount are basically changing. Okay. So 70 degree will be your answer. Okay. So a bed has attitude of north 45 degree west and dipping 30 degree towards southwest. Content lineation which has rake of 30 degree with northwest end of strike. So then what will be the plunge amount of a linear feature? So here what are the things are given here? And the strike is given as here north 45 degree west, and the like 2 dp amount is given as your 30 degree, and the rake is given as your 30 degree. Okay. And it asks to find out the plunge amount of the linear feature. So what is the relationship between here like 2 dip amount, rake and its plunge amount? Someone please let me know what is the relationship between them.
Sine plunge equals to sine rake into sine deep.
Yeah, very good. So sine plunge equal to sine rake into sine dip. Okay. So it wants to calculate the plunge value. So we'll the rest are basically given. The rake and the 2 dip amounts are already given. So sine plunge will become sine 30 degree into sine 30 degree. Okay. So plunge will become sine inverse 0.25. So it will become here 14.47 degree. Okay. So this will be our answer. So remember these relations all are in sine. Sine plunge equal to sine rake into sine of 2 dip. So this will be our answer. Okay. Let's move to the next one. A vertical weight striking north 45 degree east have liberation feature which has rake of 45 degree with the north east end of strike. Then find out the plunge amount of the liberation. So here the rake amount is given as 45 degree and the weight is vertical and it asking to calculate the plunge of the lineation plunge amount. So like what will be the plunge here? How to calculate the plunge? Because here only rake value is given. So what will be the 2D value for this question? कोई एक बोलो क्या होगा इसमें 2D वैल्यू क्या होगा थोड़ा दिमाग लगाओ बेड क्या दिया है वर्टिकल दिया है so what will be the 2D
90 degree.
yeah so basically for two, like there are three types of there are three conditions like if the bed is vertical like if the bed is vertical then remember that for that case the 2D amount will be your 90 degree. If the bed is horizontal then it will be your 0 degree and if it is inclined it will be in between it will be ranging from 0 to 90 degree. Okay. So remember this condition. So here the bed is basically vertical. So for vertical bed, so delta will be here 90 degree. And if we put the formula that is your sine plunge equal to sine of rake into sine of dip. So sine of plunge equal to your like your dip value is like 90 degree, so it will become 1. So sine 45 degree. So plunge will become yeah 45. Yeah, so plunge will become here 45 degree. Sine will cancel out. So this will be your answer. So remember, if the bed is vertical, then the dip amount is 90 degree. If the bed is horizontal, then the dip amount is 0 degree. And if the like bed is inclined, then the dip amount is ranging from 0 to 90 degree. Okay. So let's move to the next one. A sandstone bed with dipping 30 degree has an outcrop width of 20 meter in a flat terrain. So what will be the true thickness? So like before going towards the question, I would like to tell you some like basic things. So Here this is your deep amount, and this is your W, and this is your T. Okay, so what is W? Basically W is your apparent thickness. W is your apparent thickness, and like T is your basically orthogonal thickness. Okay, T is your orthogonal thickness, or you can say true thickness is your orthogonal thickness, or you can say true thickness, right? And remember that the W is always greater than true thickness. बट when basically but हम जब true dip and apparent dip देख रहे थे तो उस टाइम क्या मतलब true dip always greater than apparent dip, but here the apparent thickness is always greater than true thickness. Okay, so don't confuse between them two. So like the apparent thickness is always greater than the true thickness.
Orthogonal thickness is less than truth thickness. Sorry. Width thickness.
Yeah, orthogonal thickness is less than your apparent thickness. Okay, so here I to like हमको इनके बीच में रिलेशन निकालना था, ठीक है? We are going to find out
Screen
the
is not visible.
Screen.
okay, not visible, just wait. Is it visible right now?
Yes.
So basically we're going to make a relationship between your like true thickness and your apparent thickness and theta value. Okay, so here the front value is 90 should be your h, and the front value of theta should be your p. So like apparent thickness here is your h, and your orthogonal thickness is your perpendicular here. So what is the like which is basically saying defining the relationship between your p and h, that is your sin theta. Okay, so there is a trick to remember this one, that is your Pakistan Vuka and Hindustan Haravara. Okay, so from Pakistan Vuka the take the the first letters, that is your P and P, and for Hindustan Haravara that's HS and B. So P by H is basically defining the sin theta, B by H is defining the cos theta, and your P by B is defining the tan theta. Okay, and if we reverse it, H by P will be defining the cosec theta, whereas H by B will define the like your sec theta, and B by P will define the cot theta. Okay, so here we are going to define your relationship in P and H, so that will be your sin theta. Okay, so in triangle ABC, sin theta will become your P by H. P is your what? P is your true thickness, and B is your sorry H is your apparent thickness. Okay, that is your W. So T will be W sin theta. Okay, so this is the relationship between your true thickness and apparent thickness. Okay, here T is your true thickness and W is your apparent thickness. T is your true thickness and W is your apparent thickness. So here in the questions, what are basically given here? So here the bed is dipping 30° with an outlook of 20 meter in the flat terrain. Okay, so here W1 theta value is given. So your W value is given as 20 meter, and the theta value is given as 30 degrees. So what is the relationship between them? That is t equal to w sin theta. So t will be equal to 20 into sin 30. So that will become 10 meter. Okay. So remember the formula. That is t equal to w sin theta. Okay. So we got the true thickness as 10 meter, and you can see the apparent thickness is 20 meter and the true thickness is 10 meter. So hence proved apparent thickness is always greater than true thickness. And remember the mnemonics also. Pakistan Bhuka Pesa, Hindustan Hara Bhara. P by S is the sin theta, B by S is the cos theta, and P by B is the tan theta. And the reverse will be your cosec, sec, and cot. Okay, let's move to the next one. A bed has vertical thickness of 10 meter and a deep amount of 30 degrees, then what will be the apparent thickness on a flat ground surface? So apparent thickness and the like here, what is the horizontal thickness? So both are W. Okay, so let's draw this. So here the deep amount is basically 30 degree and the vertical thickness is given as 10 meter. Okay, so this is your vertical thickness, this is your V, this is your vertical thickness. Okay, the vertical thickness is given as your 10 meter and it wants to calculate the apparent thickness. So what is the apparent thickness? This is your apparent thickness, na? The W is your apparent thickness. So this value is same in this one also. So this will be W, and the theta value will remain same in this one also. That is the theta. So this is a 90 degree. Okay. So this is a theta. The front value of theta is your like your P, and this will be your H, and this is your B. So this is defining the relationship between P and B. So that will be your tan theta. So tan theta equals to P by B, that is your B by W. So B is basically W tan theta. Sorry, we are calculating W value, no? So W will become B by tan theta. So the vertical thickness is given as 10 meter and the theta value is given as 30 degrees. So 10 by 10 30. So that will become 17.32 meter. Okay. So this will be our answer. Remember, this is your vertical thickness and this is your true thickness. Okay, this will be your true thickness. T is your true thickness. Okay, let's move to the next one. A conglomerate bed is dipping 45 degree towards east, has a width of 25 meter on a horizontal plane. Then what will be the vertical thickness of the bed? And it is asking in cm. You can see the width is in 25, and that is in meter, but it is asking the vertical thickness in centimeter. Okay, so it is asking the vertical thickness value. So your width is given as 25 meter, is a 45 degree. You can do it both way. You can either define the true thickness first, then you will calculate the like vertical thickness from the true thickness, or you can directly like calculate the vertical thickness from the apparent thickness. Okay, so we'll basically do the lengthy way. So let's find the true thickness first. This is your true thickness. So we know that true thickness is basically W sin theta. We defined this like formula before. So what will be true thickness then? True thickness will be W, that is a 25 meter into sin 45. So it will become 25 into sin 45. So that is a 17.67 meter. And then we know that this is basically your true thickness, right? This is your true thickness, and this theta value will be equal to this theta value. This is your also 45 degree, and this is your like a 90 degree. So the front value of 90 degrees is H, and this is your P. So rest is your B. Here T is your B and B is your H. So which is basically defining the relationship between B and H, that is your cos theta. So here cos theta will become T by B. So B will become T by cos theta, cos 45, right? So T is your 17.67 divided by cos 45. So the vertical thickness will become divided by cos 45, 25 degrees, 25 meter, and it is asking in centimeter, so it will become 2500 centimeter, right? So this will be the answer. Or you can directly do here, you can directly put the like tan formula, so that will become here is a W now, so W will become tan 45 equals to here T by V now, it's theta is this one, okay, V by W, okay. So B will be here tan theta, tan 45 means 1, so it will be here 25 meter, okay. Whatever you can do, but to give the relationship between the true thickness and vertical thickness, I basically did this one, okay. So remember that there are two formula we got till now. The true thickness is basically W into sin theta, and again the true thickness is equal to V cos theta, okay. So this, the first one is the relationship between true thickness and apparent thickness. The second one is the relationship between true thickness and vertical thickness. So what is the relationship between true thickness and apparent thickness? That is T equal to W sin theta. And what is the relationship between true thickness and vertical thickness? That is T equal to V cos theta. Okay, these are two relationships. Okay, so let's move to the next one. In an area, so a sandstone bed is exposed. So slope of the ground and deep of the bed are 50 degree west and 20 degree west respectively. If the width of the outcrop is 60 meter, then what will be the true thickness of the sandstone bed in kilometer? Okay. So here there are slope and deeps are given. So there is a relationship between among them. Okay. We already know that T equal to W sin theta, where T is your true thickness and W is your apparent thickness. But here only one value is given, that is theta value is given, that is d value is given. If there is another slope value will be given, so there is a relationship among them, okay. So if slope and dip are in same direction, then what will happen? तो क्या होगा, तो मेरा जो ट्रू थिकनेस होगा ना, वो क्या हो जाएगा मेरा W sin, एंड यहाँ पे मेरा अगर स्लोप ज़्यादा है, ठीक है, स्लोप इज ग्रेटर देन डीप, सो व्हाट विल बिकम W sin स्लोप माइनस डीप हो जाएगा ये, अगर वो सेम डायरेक्शन में डिप कर रहे होंगे तो, ठीक है। अगर वो अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में डिप कर रहे होंगे तो इफ स्लोप आर डीप एंड इन ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन, अगर दोनों अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में होंगे तो डिप आर इन ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन, तो क्या होगा मेरा, दोनों प्लस हो जाएंगे, ठीक है। So it will become T equal to W sin slope plus dip. Okay. So if they are in the same direction, the like will basically make a difference between slope and dip. If they are in the opposite direction, will basically sum of them. In this condition, as you can see, like slope is dipping in 50 degree west, and your dip of the bed is also 20 degree towards west. So both are dipping in same direction. So what will be the formula in for this case? Someone please tell what will be the formula for this
Slope
case?
minus dip.
Okay, that will be slope minus dip. So here slope is given as 50 degree. So here given slope is at 50 degree and here dip is at 20 degree, right? So we know that T equal to W sin slope minus dip. So it will become W sin 50 minus 20, that is 30. So W is given as 60 meter. Okay, so W is also given as 60 meter. So 60 into sin 30, so that will came around 30 meter. Okay, 30 meter. But here क्वेश्चन किस में निकालने के लिए बोले, किलोमीटर पे, तो कितना हो जाएगा मेरा 0.03 किलोमीटर हो जाएगा, ठीक है। इट विल बी आंसर. So remember that if the slope and dip are basically in same direction, then the formula will be T equal to W sin slope minus dip. If they are in the opposite direction, then the formula will become T equals to W sin slope plus dip. Okay. In an area, a bed of sandstone is exposed. The slope of the ground and the dip of the bed are 10 degree west and 20 degree east. If the width of the outcrop is 60 meter, then what will be the true thickness of the sandstone bed? So here the slope on the bed are basically in opposite direction, and here the slope is given as 10 degree and the dip is given as here 20 degree, okay, and the W is given as 60 degree. So it wants to calculate the T value. So if they're basically in opposite direction, then what will be the formula? If they're dipping in opposite direction,
Slope plus dip.
T equal to W sine. Like you are not audible.
Slope plus dip.
Yeah, slope plus dip, okay. If they're basically dipping in opposite direction, then that will become their sum. Slope plus dip. So W is given as 60 meter sine, that is 30 degree. So 60 into 0.5, that will become a 30 meter. Okay, so this will be the answer. If they're dipping in same direction, then the formula will be T equal to W sine slope minus dip. If they're dipping in opposite direction, then T equal to W sine slope plus dip. Okay, so let's move to the next one. A sandstone block in the channel shows a lateral accretion surface epsilon cross stratification. So who is having an altitude of north 45, not 40 degree west and 45 degree north? What will be the possible Paleocene direction in that channel? Okay, so there are basically three conditions, right? There are three conditions for normal crossways. For normal crossways, the Paleocurrent direction is same as the 2D direction. Okay, for normal crossways, Paleocurrent direction is same as 2D direction. Paleocurrent direction is same as 2D direction. For antidunes, the Paleocurrent direction is basically what will the Paleocurrent direction be? Paleocurrent direction will be 2D plus 1D degree. 2D plus 180 degree. And for epsilon cross bedding, and for epsilon cross bedding, the Paleocurrent direction will be 2D plus 90 degree. Okay, 2D direction plus 90 degree. तो यहाँ पे क्या दिया है मुझे? यहाँ पे मुझे ओ एप्सिलॉन क्रॉस बेडिंग का सर्टिफिकेशन का गेस दिया है. So first we need to calculate the find out the 2D direction, then we will need to plus 90 degree, that will become the possible Paleocurrent direction for epsilon cross bedding. Okay, if it was a normal cross bend, then the Paleocurrent direction will be same as the 2D direction. For if it is for for antidunes, that is the 2D direction plus 180 degree. For epsilon cross bedding, that will be 2D plus 90 degree. So here epsilon cross bedding condition is given, so we need to find out the 2D direction first, then we need to plus 90 degree, that will become the Paleocurrent direction. Okay, so it will be similar to the strike direction for epsilon cross bedding. Okay, so let's plot. The strike is here north 40 degree west, north south straight, north 40 degree west, right? This one is a strike. So what will be the deep direction then? Towards the northeast. So 40 plus 50. So it will become north 50 degree east is your deep direction, to deep direction. Okay. So what will be the then Paleocurrent direction? Paleocurrent direction will be for epsilon cross stratification. Paleocurrent direction will be 2 deep direction plus 90 degree. So north 50 degree, that is between 0 plus 90. So that will become here 140 degree. Okay, so this will be your answer. So remember that for normal cross beads, the Paleocon direction is always same as a 2D direction. For anti-dunes, the Paleocon direction is basically 2D plus 180 degree, and for epsilon cross beading, the Paleocon direction is 2D plus 90 degree. Okay. A mineral strata has a attitude of north 35 degree west and 23 degree. Actually, it is north. It's east, southeast. Okay, southeast. A vertical drill hole gives the vertical thickness of 9 km of a strata, and true thickness of the mineralized strata will be dash. So what the things are given here? Here theta is given as 23 degree, right? And here the vertical thickness is also given. The vertical thickness is given as 9 km. Okay, so this is a 9 km, and it wants to calculate the true depth, sorry, true thickness, the T here. We already derived the formula between there is a relationship between true depth and vertical thickness, sorry, true thickness and vertical thickness. So this is here theta is given as 23 degree, so it will become a 23 degree. It's a 90 degree, so the cos theta, cos 23 will become T by V. So T equal to V cos theta, so V into cos 23 degree. So V is given as 9 km into cos 23 degree. So it will become 8.82 km. 8.82 किलोमीटर. ओके, बट यहाँ पे मुझे माइल्स में निकालने के लिए बोला है, तो मुझे पता है कि जो 1 किलोमीटर होते हैं मतलब 0.61 माइल्स होते हैं. सो 8.28 इंटू 0.621 miles. So the answer will become 5.14 miles. So this will be the answer. So remember that the relationship between true depth and apparent thickness is, I'm again writing, the relationship between true thickness and apparent thickness is true thickness equal to W sin theta, and again the true thickness equal to B sin theta. So W is your apparent thickness and B is your true thickness, sorry, B cos theta, and B is your vertical thickness. So these are your two formulas. Okay, let's move to the next one. A sandstone aquifer having a true thickness of 50 meter and a outcrop thickness of 100 meter is dipping along north 50 degree west. If there was a well drilled vertically at a distance of 500 meter from the aquifer to produce water, find the vertical thickness. Okay, so here true thickness is given, no? True thickness is given as 50 meter and the apparent thickness is given as 100 meter. But here the theta value is not given. So without theta value we cannot calculate the vertical thickness. So this is a V is your vertical thickness. So we need to calculate the theta value first. This is a theta angle. So we know that T equal to W sin theta. So sin theta will be T by W. T by W. So sin theta will become 50 by 50 meter by 100 meter. So then theta will become sin inverse 0.5. So that will give rise to 30 degree, right? So now we got the theta value as 30 degree. So this value will become 30 degree. This is your vertical thickness and this is your true thickness. And again we know that the relationship between true thickness and your vertical thickness, that is true thickness equal to V into cos theta. Like then V will become T by cos theta. So true thickness is given as 50 meter divided by cos 30. So that will give rise to 50 by cos 30. 57.73. Okay. So this will be the answer, 57.73 meter. Okay, the next one. A sandstone bed is dipping 30 degree towards west, 30 degree towards west. Okay, a sandstone bed is dipping. It is dipping towards the western side. Okay, western side. And the true thickness. Okay, 30 degree. No, 30 degree. Say at 70 meter thickness distance, the borehole is placed vertically. From a distance of 70 meter, let's say it is 70 meter, a vertical drill rod is placed. That is, it is a vertical drill rod. It is placed at a distance of 70 meter. They calculate the vertical thickness from the surface of the body. It wants to calculate the vertical thickness. Okay, let's say this A, B, this is C, this is a theta value, this is a distance. On it wants to calculate the AC value. Okay, so in triangle ABC, AB is your 70 meter, theta is a 30 degree, and it wants to calculate the AC value. So AC is your basically perpendicular, and AB is your base. So which gives the relationship between your base and your perpendicular. Sorry, perpendicular and base. That is your tan theta. So tan theta will become your P by B, that is AC by AB. So AB value is already given, so AC will be tan 30 into 70 meter. So it will become 41 meter. This will be the answer. Remember the formula, that is Pakistan Bhuka Paisa and Hindustan Hara Hara. This one is your sin theta. This one is your cos theta. This one is your tan theta. Okay, here P and B relation is given by tan theta. So, an over body is dipping 45 degree towards west on a flat topography. At what distance should a borehole be placed that so that it intersect a perpendicular vertical depth of 80 meter? Okay, so it is saying that a ore body is dipping towards western side, means it will dipping towards western side. Okay, this side at 45 degree. At what distance should a borehole be placed at it intersect a perpendicular vertical depth of 8 meter? Okay, so the vertical depth is given as 80 meter, and it's saying at what depth it will be intersected the perpendicular, that will it make you the perpendicular. Okay, so something like this. It is a perpendicular distance. Okay, so it intersects the perpendicular at a vertical depth of 80 meter. So here AB is given as your 80 meter. Let's say this is A, B, C, this is D. This is given as your 80 meter, right? This is 45, and it wants to calculate the distance from the border to the place, means total distance is want to calculate. That means it wants to calculate the AD value. Okay, total distance that should a border place it will intersect, means it acts as what this border. So it will intersect the perpendicular at the like vertical depth to 80 meter. Okay, so basically let's calculate the AC value first, then we'll calculate the AD value. After that we'll basically sum of these two and we get the whole value. Okay, so in triangle ABC, tan theta is P by B, tan theta equals to P of AB 80 by AC. So AC will become 80 by tan 45. So tan 45 value is 1. So AC is 80 meter. It is 80 meter. It's 80 meter and it's 90 degree. And if it is 90 degree, this one is your 80 meter. This one is also 90 degree. So 90 means halfway is 45. This one also 45. So if we calculate this one, we get this value as also 80 meter. So total AD plus AC will become 80 meter plus 80 meter, that will be 160 meter. Okay, so at 160 meter distance a border will be placed, so it will intersect the perpendicular at its vertical depth of 80 meter. Okay, so the answer will be here 160 meter. Let's move to the next one. As shown in the following figure, a vertical well intersect at the top and bottom of the incline at 20 meter, 200 meter and 410 meter depth respectively if true depth of the wade is 60 degree, no 60 degree in the north, the true thickness of the wade is dash meter. So here as you can see, like the vertical thickness will be 2, like 410 minus 200, that will be 210 meter. So here if we draw this, the value is given as 60 degree and the vertical thickness we found at 210 meter, and it want to calculate the true thickness value, that means this value, right? This is also a 60 degree, so we know that t equal to v cos theta. So v will be your 210 meter into cos 60 degree. 210 into cos 60, it will be 105 meter. So the answer will be 105 meter. I already derived the formula, that's why I'm like putting direct to formula. Okay, you can calculate that. You will take, this is a triangle, that's ABC, and here AB is your base, and here AC is your like hypotenuse, and hypotenuse and base is relationship is formed by cos theta. So cos theta will become here like base by hypotenuse, that's here AB by AC. Then here AB will become AC into cos theta, that is here 210 into cos 60 degree. Okay, that will become 105 degree, or you can directly put the formula t equal to v cos theta. Then in a bilaterally symmetrical brachiopods fossil, the angle between the hinge line and the medial line changes to 45 degree after deformation. So here the theta angle is given as here 45 degree. Then what will be the shear strain observed in the deformed fossil? So what is the formula of shear strain? Someone please let me know what is the formula of shear strain. Anyone? इसको बताओ shear strain का formula क्या है? So shear strain is basically tan theta. Okay. So your theta value is given as 45. So tan 45 will become 1 degree. So like stress is directly proportional to strain for elastic deformation or for viscous deformation. When
Elastic.
Elastic.
and for viscous, what will be the condition? Is stress is directly proportional to strain for viscous material? That is not true, right? For viscous, the stress is directly proportional to strain rate, not strain. That will be strain rate. Remember this thing, okay? If the dip of the normal fold is 60 degree, what will be the head? So remember that head is a complementary angle, right? Means dip plus head, they're basically equal to 90 degree. So if I draw a fold, normal fold, in normal fold what happens? What will be the condition for normal fold? Someone please let me know what are the conditions for a normal fold?
Hanging wall moves down the footwall.
Hanging wall is move upward or downward?
Downward.
Yeah, hanging wall will move downward, and foot, or you can say foot wall will move upward. And how to like know which one is the hanging wall and which one is the foot wall?
डीप डायरेक्शन की तरफ हैंगिंग वॉल होता है.
Yeah, the hanging wall is always found towards the deep direction. Okay, and you can also say that hanging wall is lies above the fold plane. Okay, there are two you can say. And what like there are some like features of like your normal fold. It's found in your divergent plate boundary and in extensional setting.
Horst and Graben structure.
Yeah, here horse and graben structures are basically found. What is the horse and graben? Horst is the depressed or the raised portion? It's a raised portion, right? Which one is basically uplifted, upthrown block. Graben is the downthrown block, which one basically is the depressed portion. Like Horst, we can also say that here the fold plane is dipping away from each other, right? The fold, like the folds are dipping away from each other in case of Horst. In case of graben, the faults are basically dipping towards each other. And host is the like your raised portion, or you can say the option block, and graben is the like depressed portion of downstream block. And for like according to Anderson theory, like for normal pool, what is the condition here? Which one is vertical?
Sigma sigma 1 is
Sigma 1.
vertical.
Yeah, here sigma 1 is vertical, right? And the other two, sigma 2 and sigma 3 is basically horizontal. And remember that always the sigma 1 is greater than sigma 2 is greater than sigma 3, right? And for your strike slip, the sigma 2 is vertical, and for reverse, the sigma 3 is vertical. Right? So in normal fold, there are two other type normal, like the other means other varieties of normal fold, that is your decollement and detachment fold. So what was this detachment and decollement fold? Do you know? These are listic or anti sorry, these are listic means these are curved, or these are the normal like straight folds, the detachment or decollements. Do you know the meaning of listic?
Yes.
What do you mean by listic?
Fault plane curved होता है.
Yeah, basically the ball pen is cropped, and like it is steepening or downward, or it is like gentling downward.
Gentling downward.
Gent.
और anti लिस्टिक में उल्टा होता है.
उल्टा होता है, right? They are basically mixing and they are forming the synthetic and antithetic fold. So what is the difference between synthetic and antithetic? Synthetic में towards
When the
होता है.
pulse,
Yeah, tell.
when the smaller pulse is parallel to major pulse, then that type of fault is known as synthetic. The then opposite case is antithetic.
Yeah, very good. So these are conditions of normal fold, and if I draw a normal fold, I'm not drawing the like original diagram. Okay, I'm drawing only the normal diagram. So here, this one is a hanging wall, and it is going down one. This one is a foot wall, and this is if I take this triangle. So this is your theta, and this is your head angle. Okay, this is 90 degree. So in triangle, all the three angles they are made in 180 degree. So know that the means 90 degree is already gone. So the head plus dips would be equal to 90 degree. Okay, so head plus dips they always making the summation of 90 degree. So if one angle is given, you will like difference 90 from that to another angle, you will get another angle. Okay, so here the deep of normal fold is given 60 degree, then what will be the head here? That will be your
30
60
degree.
sorry 30 degree. So
30
head,
degree.
yeah, 90 plus 60, that will be your 30 degree, right? So let's move to the next one. Okay, so deep slip of a fault on a fault that is 30 degree east is 10 meter. Assuming the slip equals separation here, then throw of the fault is dash. Deep slip means net slip, you can say. So here, if I draw this one, right? Okay, I will draw triangle from next time. Okay, so let's say this one is your given as 10 meter, and it has to find out a throw value here. This is your heave. The vertical displacement is your heave, and the horizontal displacement is your vertical is your throw, and the horizontal is your heave. So the theta angle that is given as a 30 degree, it will be equal to this one angle. So if I draw this triangle below, so theta angle is 30 degree. This one is your 10 meter. This is your throw. So it is basically showing the relationship between P and H. So which that is shown by here sin theta. So I can write sin 30 degree equals to P by H, that's T by 10 meter. So T will become 10 meter into sin 30. So that will give you 5 meter. Okay. So remember that throw is the vertical displacement and the heave is the horizontal displacement. Okay. So the answer for this question will be 5 meter. Let's move to the next one. Throw and heave of a offset by a normal fold at 100 and 200 meter respectively. So deep of the fold. So here the throw and heave, throw is given as your 100 meter and heave is all given as your 200 meter. So it wants to calculate the deep value. This is a deep now. So deep value. So what will be deep value then? This is your P and B. So tan is basically showing the relationship between P and B. So tan theta is basically what? P by B 100 by 200 meter. So theta will become tan inverse 1 by 2. So tan inverse 1 by 2 is your 26.56 now. Tan inverse percentage again. Yeah, 26.56. That will be the answer. Then what will the head angle for this question? That's a 90 minus 26.56. So it will become here 63.43 degree. Okay. Let's move to the next one. A normal flow displaces a sandstone base such that the deep slip and the strike slip components are 3 meter and 4 meter respectively. Then what will be the net slip? So here the deep slip component is 3 meter, the strike slip is 4 meter. Then what will be the net slip component here? Net slip, this one is a net slip. So we know that the h square is the p square plus v square root over, sorry, p square plus v square, and then h will be the p square plus v square root over, right? This is Pythagoras theorem. So this 3 square plus 4 square root over. So the answer will be 5 meter here. So there is nothing difficult in this question. Let's move to the next one. Oblique slip fault. Okay. So for oblique slip fault, you need to remember the diagram. Okay. So I am drawing the diagram. मेरे डायग्राम इतना अच्छा नहीं होता तो ठीक है, हंसना मत, ठीक है. It will be yeah. There is something like that. This is obviously fault, okay. And which one is a hanging wall and which one is a footwell here? Someone please let me know which one is a hanging wall here.
One block is hanging wall.
Okay, this one is your hanging wall, no? This one is your footwell. So here we'll derive two triangles. This one is your first. This one is the second triangle. This one is your second. Okay, I'm naming this as ABCD, ABC, and these are ADF, ADF. Okay. So remember that for oblique slip fault, this is your throw, this is your heave, and AD is your strike slip component. This is your strike slip component, and DF is your deep slip component, and the AF is your net slip component. This is your net slip, and again AC is the deep slip component. So if I draw this diagram below, draw this triangle below. And this is a rake angle, okay. This one is a rake angle, this one is the rake angle, and this is your deep angle, theta. So if I draw this diagram below, there's a triangle, this is your ABC, and this will be your ADF. So AB is your throw, as I already told you. This is throw, this is heave, this is deep slip, and AD is your strike slip S, and DF is your deep slip D, and this is net slip. Okay, here I am writing. That's three is your throw, A is your heave, the horizontal component, D is your deep slip, and AC is your strike slip, and N is your net slip. Okay. So now let's go to the question. What is this basically saying? The obviously fold the fold displacement created a set of parallel striation on a fold plane. The pitch of the striation is 50 degree. Pitch means rake. Rake is 60 degree means it's basically saying this angle. This angle is 50 degree. That means the rake angle, this one is 50 degree, right? Okay. I'm making it small, just wait. Okay. So that angle was basically what? 50 degree. So in triangle ADF, the pitch is 50 degree and it want to calculate the strike slip component. ये बोला है strike slip component निकालने के लिए मेरा net slip कितना दिया है 3000 mm. ठीक है, मेरा net slip क्या है यहाँ पे, ये दिया है मेरा given, क्या दिया है यहाँ पे given net slip equals to मेरा 3000 mm कितना हो जाएगा, मेरा 3 मीटर हो जाएगा. ठीक है, इन मेरा रेक कितना दिया है, जो कि मेरा पीछे 50 डिग्री दिया है. सो मैं अगर इन ट्राइंगल एडीएफ मेरा निकालने क्या बोला है, स्ट्राइक स्लिप बोला है. तो स्ट्राइक स्लिप मेरा यहाँ पे क्या है, मेरा बेस है, नेट स्लिप क्या है यहाँ पे हाइपोटेनस है. बेस हाइपोटेनस में रिलेशन कौन दिखाते हैं, cos थीटा. सो cos 50 विल बिकम b by h, that's your strike slip component by your net slip component. So strike slip component will become net slip component into cos 50 degree. So net slip component is given as 3 meter into cos 50. Okay, so it will become 3 into cos 50, that's at 1.93 meter. So this will be the answer. So you can either remember this diagram or you can remember this two triangle. Okay, so according to that you can do any type of numerical related to oblique slip. If this is not oblique slip, then you can directly use the Throwy formula and you can calculate the answer. But if it is oblique slip, then you need to draw the diagram of the oblique first. Okay, because here the rake is another thing. Here the rake and deep is basically different. Okay, so this is a deep angle and this is a rake angle. Okay, so both are different. So for this question, the answer will, the strike slip component will be at 1.93 meter. Yeah, so let's move to the next one. In an oblique slip fault having 330 degree deep, the net slip is 10 meter at an angle of 45 degree to the strike of the fault plane. Then the deep slip component of the fault in meters. Okay, so I told you like we got two triangles from the oblique slip. Which first one is your ABC, the second one is your ADF, right? This is a rake angle, this is a deep angle. So here the net slip is given, means this is net slip, the net slip is given as 10 meter and at angle 45 degree to strike of the fault plane. 45 degree, this is a strike of the fault plane, means this is saying about the like rake angle. The rake is also given as here 45 degree. So here given, here deep is also already given, that is 30 degrees. Deep is given as 30 degree. So here like deep is given as 30 degree and rake is given as here 45 degree, along with the net slip is given as 10 meter. Okay, and what will the deep slip component of the fault in meters? So it wants to calculate this deep slip component, the deep slip value, right? We know that this is your throw, this is your heave, this is your deep slip component, right? So if we got the deep slip component, then we can also calculate throw and heave value. Like deep slip component value will be both same, no? This AC will be equal to DF. So if we got the deep sleep component, then we can easily calculate throw and heave. So for this question, it is asking the deep sleep component. Okay. So net sleep is given. It's asking the deep sleep component. Deep sleep is basically perpendicular and it is hypotenuse. So that will be defining by sine theta. So sine theta will become here deep sleep divided by net sleep. Then deep sleep will become net sleep into sine theta, means 10 meter into, not sine theta, it's sine 45, sine rake, sine 45. That will become 10 meter into sine 45 value is 0.707. It will give rise to 70.71. Okay, so this is your deep sleep component. Then now we got the deep sleep value, then we can easily calculate the throw here. We got the deep sleep component now, that is a 70.71 meter. And the deep value is also already given as 30 degree. This is a throw, this is a heave. Then what will be the throw? Throw is basically what here? Perpendicular. So sine 30 will become throw by net sleep, that sorry, deep sleep, that's a 70.71 meter. So throw will become 70.71 into sine 30, means it's halfway of 70.71 into sine 30. It's a 35.35. Okay, it's just 7.07, not 70.71. No one is saying 70.607 meter. Okay, so it will become, it's 7.07. It will become 3.53. 3.53. Now what will be the heap value then? For heap value, it will put cos theta. Cos 30 will become heap by 7.07. So he will become 7.07 into cos 30. Cos 30. 6.12. 3.53, 6.12 meter. Okay. So I just gave you a glimpse. If it is want to calculate the throw and heave from the following data, then you can also calculate throw and heave. But here it only want to calculate the deep sleep component. Okay, then the deep sleep component for this question will be 0.07 meter. Okay? This will be your answer. Okay, let's move to the next one. In a zone of active nodal faulting, the maximum and minimum in-situ principal stresses are 30 MPa, that is sigma 1, and 10 MPa, that is sigma 3 respectively. The fault plane is striking north-south and has a deep amount of 60 degree towards east. So considering Anderson theory of faulting and using the given information, what will be the normal stress of the fault plane? So here your sigma 1 and sigma 3 are given. So sigma 1 is given as 30 MPa, along with sigma 3 is given as 10 MPa. So we know that what is the formula of your normal stress? That's your sigma 1 plus sigma 3 divided by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 divided by 2 into cos to theta. And the theta value is already given, that is 60 degree. So 30 plus 10 by 2, 30 minus 10 by 2, the cos 120 degree. 20 plus it's 20 by 2, 10 into cos 120, no? 10 into cos 120 is minus 5. 20 minus 5, that's your 15 MPa. So 15 MPa will be the answer. So if it wants to calculate the shear stress, then like what will be the formula? What is the formula of shear stress? Someone please let me know. What is the
Sigma
formula
1
for?
minus sigma 3 by 2 sine 2 theta.
Yeah, sine to theta. So it is the formula for your sigma s. So 30 minus 10 by 2 into sine 120. 30 minus 10, 30 into sin 120. 17.32. The value of sigma is. So let's move to next one. A sandstone follows Morse-Coulomb failure criterion if the uniaxial compressive strength and the angle of internal friction for sandstone are 7 MPa and 30 degree respectively, the calculate cohesion of the rock is dash MPa. Okay, so here only the like maximum compressive stress is given and the minimum is not given, so you have to like take it as 0. So let's say here sigma 1 is given as 7 MPa and sigma 3 will let it at 0 and the phi is given as your 30 degree. So from phi, how we can calculate the theta angle? What is the relationship between phi and theta? Hello? What is the relationship between phi and theta? Means angle of internal friction and dip angle.
Theta equals to 90 plus 5 by 2.
Tan.
90 plus pi by 2, or you can say 90 minus theta. Okay, 90 minus phi. There are two formula. So theta equals to 90 plus pi by 2. Means 90 plus 30 by 2, that's 120 by 2, that's your 60 degree, right? Now we got the theta value and we have sigma and sigma 3. So we can calculate the sigma n and sigma s. It wants to calculate the cohesion value, na? So if we calculate the sigma n and the shear strength first, then we will basically put this value in the formula, that is shear strength equal to cohesion plus sigma n tan phi. Then from that formula we can easily determine the cohesion value. Okay, so let's calculate sigma n and sigma s value first. So sigma n is basically your sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 cos to theta. So if I solve this, it will come around here 1.75 MPa. I am not taking much time because I already did one numerical on this question. So sigma s will become sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 sine 2 theta. So if I solve this, it will come around 3.03. Okay, so what is the formula for Morse-Coulomb criterion? Someone please tell me what is the formula for Morse-Coulomb criterion?
Tau equals to C plus sigma and tan phi.
Yeah, very good. Criterion. So tau equals to cohesion plus sigma n tan phi. So tau value we calculated as 3.03 equals to cohesion plus sigma n we have calculated as 1.75 into tan phi value is given as 30 degree, right? Then C will become 3.03 minus 1.75 into tan 30, 1.01, so 2.02 MPa. Okay, so this will be the answer.
आप एक बार बता सकते हैं कि जब हम लोग सिग्मा एन और सिग्मा एस कैलकुलेट करते हैं तब वो जो थीटा लेते हैं वो किस किस के बीच का एंगल होता है?
वो होता है बेसिकली तुम्हारा जो मतलब मैक्सिमम प्रिंसिपल स्ट्रेस रिलेशन होता है, जो सिग्मा 1 होता है, एंड जो नॉर्मल के बीच में एंगल होता है.
अच्छा,
नॉर्मल पता है ना कौन सा है?
हाँ,
कैन कुड आई ड्रॉ दैट? और पता मतलब तुमको पता है, मैं ड्रॉ करूँ, तुमको अगर जानना है तो मैं ड्रॉ
नहीं
कर
नहीं
सकता
पता
हूँ.
है, नहीं नहीं
पता है
पता
ना?
है.
So theta is basically the angle between the maximum principal stress of sigma 1 and normal. तो जो मेरा phi होता है ना, वो बेसिकली उसका कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री होता है. तो अगर मैं 90 से उसको माइनस कर दूंगा तो निकल जाएगी. ऐसे तुम 90 प्लस थीटा बाई 2 भी करके निकाल सकते हो. So what are the normal stress and shear stress acting on a plane that making an angle 30 degree with the maximum principal compressive stress sigma direction? Okay, so here it is a plane that is making angle with 30 degree with the sigma direction. It's not the normal plane. So here like will be 30 degree is the theta angle or it is not the theta angle,
Not the theta angle.
because the theta angle is basically between the sigma direction and normal, no? So it is not a normal. So then what will be the then theta angle here?
60 degree.
Yeah, that will be 90 minus 30, right? So that will come to, or you can say 90 plus 30 by 2. So it will become 60 degree. And here sigma 1 is given as your 10 kPa, sorry 10 kilowatt, and sigma 2 is given as 5 kilobar. The same formula will be like used here. Normal, for normal, that sigma n is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 2 divided by 2 into, sorry, plus sigma 1 minus sigma 2 divided by 2 sine, sorry, cos 2 theta. And for sigma s, that is sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 sine 2 theta. Okay, so calculate this from by yourself. I am just writing the value, so it will become 6.25 kilobar and sigma s will become 2.17 kilobar. Okay, so this will be your answer. So this question was basically asked in GATE 2007. You can also check the answer from that. So let's move to the next one. The difference between normal stress and maximum shear stress is 12 MPa. So there is a normal stress sigma n and maximum shear stress. The difference is basically what, 12 MPa, and the differential stress is 10 MPa. So what do you mean by differential stress?
Maximum shear stress minus minimum.
What is the difference between the deviatory stress and your differential stress? Are they same or they are different?
डिविएटोरिक में टोटल स्ट्रेस माइनस मीन स्ट्रेस होता है.
And differential stress means?
सिग्मा 1 माइनस सिग्मा 3 होता है.
Yeah, differential stress is the difference between sigma 1 and sigma 3. And which one is used for radius and which one is used for diameter? Radius and diameter. The differential is used for like radius or diameter. That is for diameter, na? And deviatory is used for,
डिफरेंशियल के लिए डायमीटर यूज होता है.
and the deviatory is used for radius. This question was asked in GATE 2000 and this year. The deviatory stress that was basically used in radius. So here, like sigma n and your maximum shear stress is given. The difference is given as 12 MPa, and the differential stress is 10 MPa. So differential stress means what? Sigma 1 minus sigma 1 minus sigma 3. So the differential stress here is given as 10 MPa, right? So it is basically sigma 1 minus sigma 3, that is your 10 MPa. So we have these two equations. One is your sigma n minus sigma, that is your 12, and this one is your 10. So how to deal with this? What is the formula of maximum shear stress? Do you know what is the formula of maximum shear stress? Anybody know the formula of maximum shear stress? Okay, the formula is sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. Okay, this is the formula for maximum shear stress. So what will be the, then how to do this one? So what will be the maximum shear stress value then? We have the value of sigma 1 minus sigma 3, that's a 10.
10 by 2.
So it will be 10 by 2. Sigma is at a max now. Sigma is max. So sigma is max will be 5. It's 10 by 2, that's at 5 MPa. So now we got the sigma value, sigma s value. Then we can easily calculate the sigma n value, because it's given that sigma n minus sigma s max is your 12. Then what will be the sigma n value? Sigma n will be 12 plus 5, right? That will be 17 MPa. So now we got the sigma s max and sigma n value. So it's asking to calculate the sigma 1 and sigma 3 respectively. So we know that the sigma n is the sigma 1 plus sigma 2. The formula is sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 divided plus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 cos 2 theta. Cos 2 theta, that's your 90. How many cos on it? Actually, the angle is 45 degree. I actually wrote 90. The angle is 45 degree. Okay. So if we, that will become a 90 degree. 45. So this term will become 0 now, because cos 90 is 0. Cos 90 is 0, so this term will become 0. So sigma n is equal to 17 MPa equals to sigma 1 plus sigma 2 divided by 2. So sigma 1 plus sigma 2 will become here 34 MPa, right? Sigma 1 minus sigma, sorry, this is a 3. Sorry, this is a 3. 3, yeah. So sigma 1 plus sigma 3 value we calculated as 34 MPa, and we the value is given, that is sigma 1 minus sigma 3 is 10 MPa, right? And ये मतलब सिग्मा 1 और सिग्मा 2 निकालने के लिए सिग्मा 3 निकालने के लिए बोल रहा है, तो ये कैसे होगा फिर? अभी मैं दोनों इक्वेशन लिख देता हूँ। सिग्मा 1 माइनस सिग्मा 3 इक्वल्स टू 10 and sigma 1 plus sigma 3 equals to 34. So how to do this one? This, if I basically plot them, it will become cancel out. So 2 sigma 1 will become 44 MPa, right? So sigma will become 22 MPa. Then sigma 1 minus sigma 3 is given as 10. So 22 minus sigma 3 is given as 10. So sigma 3 will become 22 minus 10, that's your 12 MPa. Okay. So we have calculated the sigma 1 values at 22 MPa and sigma 3 value as 12 MPa. So इसमें किसी को समझ नहीं आया क्या? बस तुमको फॉर्मूला पुट करना है, ठीक है? फॉर्मूला याद रखना है। रिमेंबर दैट डिफरेंशियल स्ट्रेस इज बेसिकली सिग्निफाइज द diameter, and the diameter is depending the radius. Okay, so don't confuse between them. Okay, let's move to the next one. The tip line of an actively propagation thrust fault is located at a depth of 1 kilometer from the horizontal ground surface. So the average density of the material from ground surface to this depth is assumed to be uniform and taken as 2700 kg per meter cube. So the rock at depth follows the failure criterion given by the equation sigma 1 equal to 10 MPa plus 3 sigma 3, where sigma 1 and sigma 3 are the maximum minimum principal stresses. Considering Anderson's theory of faulting, the calculated maximum principal stress at this depth is dash basically. So what are the givens are present here? So it is already given that sigma 1 equals to 10 MPa plus 3 sigma 3, right? And the age is given as 1 kilometer, that's 10 to the power 3 meter. Along with the density is given as ये 2700 kg per meter cube. ओके, तो तुमको एक इक्वेशन दे दिया है जिसमें बोल रहा है कि सिग्मा 1 वाला क्या है, 10 एम्पियर, सिग्मा 3 सिग्मा 3 है। तो बेसिकली मुझे सिग्मा 1 निकालना पड़ेगा। तो सिग्मा 1 निकालने के लिए मुझे पहले सिग्मा 3 निकालना पड़ेगा, जो कि मेरा उसके लिए क्या क्या गिवन दिया है, हाइट दिया है एंड डेंसिटी दिया है, एंड उसका जी भी गिवन दे दिया है, जो कि मेरा 10 मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर। So we know that pressure is equal to rho gh. So rho is given as 2700 kg per meter cube into g is given as 10 meter per second square, along with the h is given as 10 to the power 3 meter. So if you calculate this one, it will become 200 into 10 into 10 to the power 3. 27 into 10 to the power 6 Pascal. Okay, and it will imply to like 27 megapascal. Okay, that will means that will imply the sigma 3 value. Okay, so sigma 3 we have calculated 27 MPa. So let's put the sigma 3 value in the equation. So sigma 1 is basically what? 10 MPa plus sigma 3. So it will become 10 MPa plus 3 into 27, so 81, that will become a 91 megapascal. So this will be your answer. And your sigma 1 value is always greater than sigma 2 value is greater than sigma 3 value. Okay. So this is the whole like language is basically for the confusion. There is nothing in the question. Okay, so let's move to the next one. A material has a Poisson's ratio of 0.25. So given the Poisson's ratio as 0.25, the Young's modulus is given as 200 GPa, and it wants to calculate the shear modulus and bulk modulus. So what is the relationship between the Poisson's ratio, elastic modulus, that is Young's modulus, and shear modulus and bulk modulus? If anybody know, then tell me what is the relationship between them. Hmm? What is the relationship between them? Happy? Do you know?
No, sir.
Okay. And Ranjan? Okay.
No, sir.
Okay then. So remember that I'm adding the formula. Okay, all the formula. Where the formula? Okay, this. K here, K is your bulk modulus, and your mu is your shear modulus, and lambda is the Lame constant. I'm writing. Okay. Here K is the bulk modulus, mu is the shear modulus, and lambda is the Lame constant. I remember that when lambda becomes equal to mu, that time that condition is known as ideal value of Poisson's ratio. So what is the ideal value of Poisson's ratio? Hmm? What is the ideal value of Poisson's?
0.25.
0.25, yeah, great, 0.25. And K lambda mu is your Young's modulus, okay? So here we need to calculate the shear modulus and bulk modulus. So what is the formula of shear modulus? That is your mu equals to E by 2 plus mu equal to E by 2 into 1 plus sigma, okay? That is your Poisson's ratio. So let's calculate shear modulus first. So shear modulus, that is mu will become E divided by 2 into 1 plus sigma. So that will become 200 GPa divided by 2 into 1, 2 into 1 plus 0.5. So 200 GPa by 3, right? 200 by 3, not 3 actually. It's a 0.25 no? 0.25 means 1.25 into 2, 1.50. So mu will become 200 by 1.50. Hmm. 1.25 into 2. It's a 2.5 no? So mu will become 200 by 2.5, 80 MPa, sorry 80 GPa. And what is the formula for your bulk modulus? The bulk modulus is E divided by 3 into 1 by 1 minus 2 sigma, okay? So remember this formulas. And K is equal to, that is a bulk modulus. K is equals to E divided by 3 into 1 minus 2 sigma. So 200 GPa divided by 3 into 1 minus 2 into 0.5, that's 0.5. Okay, so 200 GPa divided by 1.5, okay? So it will give around 1333.3350. Okay, this will be your answer. So remember both the formulas. Okay, so let's move to the next one. In an outcrop, we found a belemnite fossil broken into 5 rectangular phases of equal size. Long dimension of its Bowden is 1.35 centimeter. Gap between adjacent Bowdens in all cases 0.25 centimeter. Note that the long dimension of the Bowdens are perfectly aligned, so the portion elongation is dash. Okay, so there are 5 rectangular pieces of Bowdens are present. Let's say this is one, this is a two, this is three, 4 and 5 pieces. Okay. They all having size of 1.35, length of 1.35, and they having spacing that is 0.25. Spacing is 0.25. And it wants to calculate the percentage of elongation. So what is the formula of elongation? Someone please let me know what is the formula of elongation. Hmm?
Change in length by original length into 100.
So that is change in length by original. Change in length means that is the final minus initial length divided by the initial length. This is the formula, right? So what is the what is the initial length? Initial length is basically this length of the Bowdens, all the Bowdens. So, okay. So initial length is basically length of one Bowden is 1.35. So 5 Bowden will become 1.35 into 5. That will 1.35 into 5. That is 6.75 centimeter. And what is the final length? Final length that will include the spacing also. So 0.2425 into 4 among with 6.75. Okay. So it will be become 7.75 centimeter. So what will be the elongation then? 7.75 minus 6.75 divided by 6.75 into 100. It's asking elongation percentage, right? So 1 by 6.75 into 100. So it will come around 14.81. 14.81%. Okay, this will be the answer. Okay, let's move to the next one. A metal rod with original length of 50 centimeter. Metal rod that having original length that is 50 centimeter. This is stretched to a final length of 65 centimeter. Okay, so final length is 65 centimeter. So what will be the length, elongation length, and quadratic elongation, extra elongation? Okay, so what the things are given here? Here the initial length is given as 50 centimeter, and the final length is given as 65 centimeter. 65 centimeter, right? So what is the formula of elongation? That is your final, but chain is length minus initial length. That is your final minus initial. That is 65 minus 50. Okay, I'm writing final minus initial by final. That's your final minus initial by initial. Initial, okay. So 65 minus 50 by 50. So it will give you 0.3. So what is the formula of stretch? Someone is tell me what is the formula of stretch? कोई बोलो stretch का formula क्या है?
1.
So 1
1
plus
plus elongation.
so it will become 1.3. And what is the formula of quadratic elongation?
1 plus e
1
whole
plus
square.
Yeah, it is the 1 plus e whole square, right? Or you can say a square. So 1.3 square, that will become 1.69. So what is the formula of natural elongation?
Ln of stretch.
Ln of elongation, na? Ln of 0.3. That will give you like minus 1.20. these are your answers. Remember the formulas, okay? So attitude of the two limbs of a non-plunging king pole shown in the Wheeler 045 and 20 degree southeast and 045 4 degree northwest, okay? So the deep amount of the axial plane of the king fold, okay? If I draw a axial plane here, it will cut the fold into equal parts, right? The 40 plus 20, they are having 60. So remaining angles would be what? 180 minus 60.
120.
Okay, so this will be your 120. If the axial plane is cutting the 120 to equal halves, then each halves will become 60 degree and 60 degree, okay? So if I go to this one, so this will become what? 60 plus 40, that will become 110 degree, okay? But you know that deep angle should not be exceed 90 degree, right? Then that will be wrong.
100.
Then what will be the angle? If I take this one, 60 plus 80 degree, that will become your, sorry, 60 plus 20, that will become 80 degree, okay? So for this question, your deep amount will be 80 degree, okay? So what will be deep amount here? Your 60 plus 20 degree, okay? So that will be your 80 degree. So let's move to the next one. So what will be the interleave angle if the folding angle of the fold is 70 degree? So given the folding angle is what? 70 degree. So what will be the interleave angle then?
180 minus 70.
So we know
110 degree.
yeah, 110 degree. So we know that folding the summation, the basically the sum of folding angle and interleave angle is 1 degree, right? So Elastica have interleave angle of that. Elastica fold.
Negative interleave angle.
Elastica fold is also known as a Moslem fold, na? Moslem fold you can call as fan fold. That having negative interleave angle, right? So folding angle is 70 degree plus interleave angle, that is a 180 degree. So interleave angle will become 180 minus 70 degree, okay? So that will become there 110 degree. So this will be your answer. So two limbs of a vertical chevron pole strike 70 south 70 degree east. One is south 70 degree east and the another one is north 55 degree east, okay? North south east west. One is south 70 degree east and the another one is north 55 degree east. So what will the value of interleave angle of the pole? So this is basically what? 55 degree, 0 55. This is your 100 minus 80, 100 minus 70, 110 degrees. So what will be the interleave angle then? This one is the interleave
55.
angle. Yeah, this one is the interleave angle. So that will be 110 minus 55. So the interleave angle for this fold will be 55 degree. Okay. So what will be the bluntness ratio if the radius of the circle at the inflection point is 18 meter and the radius of circle at the hinge is 3 meter? So what is the formula for the bluntness ratio? Someone please tell me what is the formula of bluntness ratio? Happy? What is the formula?
Radius of small circle by radius of large circle.
Yeah, you can say that radius is small by large, but there's a formula that is radius at your hinge point or by radius at limb point. Okay, so the inflection point. So RH by RI. So given here RH is given as 3 meter and RI is given as 18 meter. So what is the formula? Bluntness ratio is equals to RH by RI, right? 3 by 18. 3 meter by 18 meter. So that will become 0.17. So this is the answer. Okay, so tell me, for Ramsey classification, axial planar thickness, in which case the axial planar thickness will remain constant and in which case the orthogonal thickness will remain constant for Ramsey
क्लास
classification.
क्लास 2 के लिए
Parallel.
एक्सियल प्लेनर थिकनेस कांस्टेंट होगा और 1B जो पैरेलल फोल्ड है उसके लिए ऑर्थोगोनल थिकनेस कांस्टेंट होगा.
और मतलब सुपरटेनस फोल्ड किसको बोलते हैं?
One
Class
A
1A.
एंड पैरेलल फोल्ड 1b। एंड किसमें तुम्हारा बेसिकली थिकेंड होगा, तुम्हारा जो हिंज होगा वो सबसे ज्यादा थिकेंड किसमें होगा?
Class 3 full.
एंड वो डाइवर्जन नेचर नेचर शो करता है, ठीक है। सो तुम्हारा जो क्लास 1b होता है उसमें तुम्हारा क्या होता है, ऑर्थोगोनल थिकनेस कांस्टेंट रहता है, और किसमें डीप आइसोगोन पैरेलल रहते हैं पूरा,
similar
Similar
fold
fold.
में
सिमिलर फोल्ड ना। एंड फॉर क्लास 2 द एंगुलर पैरेलल थिकनेस रिमेन कांस्टेंट। Thickness is constant. And if we talk about all the folds, that's class 1a, class 1b, class 1c, class 2, and class 3, right? So this is known as a supratenous. Class 1b is known as a parallel fold. Class 2 is known as a similar fold. So here the both three showing convergent deep isogon. Convergent deep isogons. And the 1c is showing parallel deep isogon di, and sorry, one not 1c. The class 2 is showing parallel deep isogon. This is showing parallel deep isogon, and 1 3 is showing here divergent deep isogon. Okay, and in class 1 here the thickness of alpha is like orthogonal thickness of limb is greater than orthogonal thickness of hinge. That means limb thickness is greater than hinge. For 1b t0 is greater than t alpha. For 1c t0 is greater sorry, for 1b t0 equal to t alpha. For 1c t0 is greater than t alpha. For 2 t0 is greater than t alpha. In class 3 the t0 is basically thickened now, and it is so much greater than t alpha. And in case of like your 2, here t capital T alpha become equal to t alpha. What do you mean by capital T alpha and capital T0? That's your axial prime thickness, na? Yeah. So these are some things. Okay, let's move to the next one. In a fold profile section, so in the figure 1 3, here 1 is the oldest, 1 is basically oldest, and 3 is youngest. Okay, 3 is youngest. Stratigraphy units respectively, which on the following description correctly matches the asymmetry fold of the following figure. So one thing I will tell you, like on the basis of the closing direction. Okay, on the basis of closing direction, I can say either it is antiform or like it is synform. Okay, on the basis of closing direction, if it is closing upward, then I can say it is antiform. If it is closing downward, then I can say it is synform. If it is closing sideways, then I can say it either right
Neutral.
neutral or left neutral. Okay, this is a neutral fold. If it is basically closing sideways, like that, I can also say that antiform is convex upward, synform is convex downward, or neutral means convex sideways. Okay, so on the basis of closing direction, I can say either it is antiform or synform. But on the basis of like your older and younger strata, I can say either it is basically anticline or syncline. So don't confuse between these two. On the basis of older and younger base, if the older base is present inside, I can say that it is anticline. If the younger base is present inside, I can say it is syncline. Okay. And if I combine both of them, if I combine both of them, it will become, what will become it? On the base of the like closing direction, I can say it is synform. On the basis of younger and older strata, I can say it is antiform. So what is the name of this fold? This will become synformal.
Synformal anticline.
Yeah, synformal anticline. Okay. So whenever the age is not given, means the older and younger strata is not given, we can say it is either anticline or syncline. we can say basically it is antiform or synform. Okay. So if the age is given, then we can say it is anticline or syncline, or if it is combining, like first see the like closing relation, then see the age. Okay, on the basis of that, it will be synformal anticline, and this thing will be antiformal syncline. Right? You all got it now? Okay, then let's move to the question now. So which option should be correct here? If 1 is the oldest and 3 is the youngest. First of all, here in the options you cannot, here the anticline word or syncline word is not given. Okay, so like for the description, like it is a synform or it is an antiform. It is basically antiform, na, because it is closing upward. You can see.
Antiform.
Yeah, it is antiform. So the synform option should be incorrect. So either it is like facing east or it is facing west. So like it is facing west, east or west. Like someone will tell either it is facing east or west. What will be the answer here?
East.
East.
वेस्ट
How?
होगा
East कैसे होगा?
West.
जो east बोल रहे हैं east कैसे होगा बोलो? Always remember that the younger bed is found towards the deep, means deep direction is always found towards the younger bed. Okay, remember that deep direction is always found towards the younger direction. Always found towards the younger direction. Towards the younger direction, right? So here younger bed is what, 3? So deep direction is toward 3 or toward 1? It will be towards 3, na? So 3 means opposite of east, so that will be your west. So for your concern, I'm adding a diagram so you can see that properly. Okay, okay, this one is the diagram. Okay, so you can see from this diagram. So these things are similar. Okay. So in case 1, tell me it is basically what? Here also 1 is the oldest and 3 is the youngest. Okay. So in case of 1, like it is antiform, it is synform.
Antiform.
It is anticline or it is syncline? Anticline, na? That means it is antiformal anticline. And here the younger bed is basically younger bed is 3, and the younger bed is towards the eastern direction. So what will be the like direction of the bed? That will be, then what will be term here? Antiformal anticline facing towards eastern or western side? The first case.
Eastern side.
Eastern side, because 3 is basically dipping towards the east. And in case of bed, it is a synform or antiform. It is synform, and the 3 is present, the like younger is present in the core, so it will be syncline. So antiformal syncline is like it is basically dipping in the like which direction, east or western direction. The younger bed is towards the east now, so it will be east.
East.
So synformal syncline dipping towards east. Okay, and the 3 will be same. Tell me what will be the 3? C. First structure antiformal, then the younger or older. Antiformal syncline facing towards western side, because 3 is basically dipping. 3 is the younger, but it's dipping toward the west. And for the D case, synformal because it is closing downward. Anticline because your older strata is present inside, and dipping in the western side because 3 is basically dipping in the western direction, right? So you can see here the A is what? A is an east facing anticline, B is an east facing syncline, C is west facing antiformal syncline, D is west facing synformal anticline. Okay. So remember these things. So the answer will be antiform facing towards west. So this will be the answer. Okay, so let's move to the next one. A fold has a axial planar thickness at the limb is 10 centimeter. So what is basically given here? Axial planar thickness at limb means the T alpha is given as 10 centimeter. Okay. Then what will be the orthogonal thickness at limb? So it wants to calculate the small t alpha value. If the theta will, if the angle of the fold is given as 30 degree. So what is the relationship between them? T alpha and small t alpha. Do you know what is the relationship between them?
Small t alpha by capital T alpha equal to cos theta.
Yeah, that is the formula. So I'm okay. So there is a formula, but let's see how to derive that. Okay. So this is a diagram. Okay. So this is your what? T alpha or T0? This length is.
T0.
This is your T0 means orthogonal thickness at hinge. T0 is your orthogonal thickness at hinge. Okay. Orthogonal thickness at hinge. And the angle between these limb, that is, this one is known as the orthogonal angle is known as, sorry, the orthogonal thickness is known as, that is small t alpha, right? So what is a small t alpha? It is basically orthogonal thickness at hinge. Orthogonal thickness at hinge. At hinge. And the planar means the thickness which is parallel to the basically limbs, that is known as the axial planar thickness. Okay. Sorry, the thickness which is parallel to the like axial plane, that is known as the axial planar thickness. So what will be this length? What will this length? That is your
Capital T.
capital T alpha. The T alpha and the capital T0, they both are same. Okay, so this is your capital T alpha. Okay, if I represent this all thing in one direction, so it will be something round this, and this is your theta value, right? This is your theta. Okay, so this is your theta, and here this one, the orthogonal thickness is your T alpha, small t alpha, and the axial front thickness is your capital T alpha, and this angle will become equal to this angle. This is a 90 degree. Let's say this is ABC triangle. In triangle ABC, this is your like perpendicular. Okay, this is relationship between base and like your hypotenuse. So which one is basically showing the relationship between base and hypotenuse? That is your cos theta, right? So cos theta becomes equal to T alpha by capital T alpha. So here in this question, it asks to calculate the small t alpha value. So what will the small t alpha? That is capital T alpha into cos theta is given as here 60 degree. So 10 meter into 60 cos 60 degree. So what will be the answer here? 10 into cos 60, that is 5 degree. Sorry, 5 meter. 5 centimeter. Sorry, 5 centimeter. So this will be your answer. So remember that this is how we derive the formula. That is cos theta equal to T alpha by capital T alpha. Okay. So let's move to the next one. On a survey of India, toposit number 53 J by 3. So the toposit number is 53 J by 3. So what is the scale for this toposit number?
1:50,000.
And what is the map name? It's a degree quarter map, na? Degree quarter map.
Yes.
So what do you mean by 1:50,000? That means 1 centimeter on map equals to 50,000 centimeter on ground. Okay. So here it is saying that if the 4 centimeter on map will be dash, then if 4 centimeter on map will be 4 into 50,000 on ground. 4 into 50,000 centimeter on ground. That will be around 2 into 10 to the power 5, na? Yeah, 5 centimeter. So it in kilometer it will become 2 kilometer. So this will be your answer. So on it opposite of 1:50,000 scale, so the scale is given as 1:50,000. The distance between upper and lower traces bed is 5 meter. अबे जाओ जी रो ଟିକେ रो बे ପଢୁଛି ର ଟିକେ रो ଭାଇ ବେ रो ପଢୁଛି ଟିକେ ରହ. So the scale is given as, just wait. Okay, like, am I audible right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the scale is given as 1 to 50,000. So it means 1 centimeter on ground equals to, sorry, 1 centimeter on map equals to 50,000 centimeter on ground, right? Then 5 centimeter on map will become 50,000 into 5. That will become here 2.5 into 10 to the power 5 centimeter. That will become 2.5 kilometer. Okay, so this will be your answer. 2.5 kilometer. Okay, so the opposite number immediately adjacent to opposite number 55.8 R. So how to find out these things? So before find out the things, you know all the maps. Okay, so there are like there are 4 types of maps, mainly 4 types of maps. So first one is a million map. So for million map, what is the scale?
1 is to 10 lakh.
1 is to 1 million. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here the latitude and the longitudinal coverage is basically 4 degree into 4 degree, right? And how to interpret this? It is basically denoted by serial number. That means 43, 54, or 62, something, etc. Okay, this is a million map. Then your degree map. So if we like subdivided the million map into 16 equal parts, that will become your degree map. So for degree map, what is the scale?
1 is to 2.5 lakh.
250, 000. Yeah, this is the scale. And your latitude and longitudinal coverage is basically 1 degree into 1 degree. And
1 degree.
we represent it as like some alphabetically. That is A to P. Okay, from A to P, we represent in alphabetically. That is 43 by A or 54 by D. Okay, in this way. Then the next one is like degree quarter map. Degree quarter map. Okay. So for degree quarter map, what is the scale?
1 is to 50,000.
1 is to 50,000, right? So here latitudinal to longitudinal coverage is 15 minute into 15 minute.
15 lakh to 15.
And the examples are basically 45 D by 4, 54 D, 54 F by 2. Okay. And these numbers, these numerical values, these are ranging from 1 to 16. Okay. So next one is your topography map. For topography map, what is the scale?
1 is to 25,000.
Yeah, the scale is 1 is to 25,000. Okay. So the scale is ranging from 1 is to 25,000. And here the longitudinal and latitudinal coverage is basically 7.5 minutes.
7.5 minutes.
And the examples are basically A by 1 by southeast or A by 1 by northeast. Okay. So these are the following representation of your map. So here the topposition number is given as 55 J by 8. So we'll go from, okay, 55 J by 8. Okay. So this is the given map here. So you can see in all the given option, all are 55. Okay. So it will it will satisfy the million map criteria. Okay. So let's go to the quarter degree map. So in degree map, there are basically 2 are J and 2 are K. Okay. Let's then draw the degree map here. So degree map is like alphabetically ranging from A to P. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Okay. It ranges from A to P. And J, it's your J. So adjacent of J is K, or it can either be F, or it can either be 1, or it can either be not. Okay. Sorry, N. So you will like either see east, north, south, east, west. Okay. You will see north, south, east, west. These are the adjacent beds. So here the K and J both are present. All the options K and J both are present. So this degree map criteria, it is also satisfied by this question. Okay. So let's move to the quarter like degree quarter map. It is ranging from 1 to 16. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Vertical. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. 11, 12. 13, 14. 15, 16. Okay, so it's 8. And the adjacent of 8 either 4, either 12. Or in south, the 5 will come. Okay, the upper one will come to the bottom. So the 5 will also come. So let's see, like in option which are present. 2 is not present, so 2 will eliminate the option. We'll eliminate this. 12, yeah, 12 is adjacent to 8, so 12 is true. And 6 is not adjacent to 8, so 6 is incorrect. And 5 is adjacent to 8, so 5 is correct. Okay, so option B and D should be correct here. So let's move to the next one. The top surface of coal seam is exposed at 150 meter contour level. 150 meter contour level, and on a hill location A. The same surface of the seam is also exposed as a riverbed at 50 meter. It's 50 meter. It's 150 meter. The aerial distance is 1 kilometer. This is a 1000 meter. Okay. So the vertical distance here is, what is the vertical distance here? That's it, 100 meter. Now, vertical thickness is here 100 meter, and the horizontal thickness is at 1000 meter. So what is the amount of dip here? How to find out the dip amount here? We know that if we put in ABC, if we put the formula, that will become tan theta. Na? So tan theta will become AB by AC. So 100 by 1000. So theta will become tan inverse 1 by 10. Okay. So this will give rise to 5.71 meter. This is your answer. So let's move to the next one. In the given map, the true dip of the bedding plane XY is dash. So if I see this, so here the vertical distance means the vertical distance we consider the contour interval. Okay, so that is given as here 100 meter, and the like aerial distance, that is the horizontal distance, given as here 5 centimeter. 5 centimeter, but here scale 1 centimeter is 20 meter. That means 5 centimeter is 100 meter. Okay, so it wants to calculate the theta value. So again, tan theta formula will put tan theta equal to 100 meter divided by 100 meter. So theta will become tan inverse 1. So theta will become 45 degree. So this will be the answer. So in the topography map, the steepest slope is dash. So like the slope is steepest if the contours are close to each other or they are like far from each other. If the like contour spacing is
Close
more.
to
So there are two cases. Steep when contour spacing is less. Contour spacing is less, or they are closely spaced. They are closely spaced. Or when like when they are gentle, if the contour spacing is more. Then what will be the option here? Which will be the option?